Let me talk to you for a second. If you have been trading for years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you're still not profitable, the problem is not your strategy, your setup, the way that you wake up, or if you're doing cold plunges in the morning. Now, to start off, I'm not a guru. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not here to sell you a dream or nothing like that. I'm actually quite the opposite. I'm a former United States Marine, and I was trained under chaos, stress, pressure, discipline, and consequences. And one thing that I can tell you is that the same mindset that kept me alive in the military is the same mindset that turned me profitable in the stock market. And 99% of traders fail because they think that trading is all about being right and making a shit ton of money. And let me break it to you, it's not. Trading is all about discipline and emotional control and knowing yourself in and out. Trading itself is executing a proper plan every day, even when every emotion in your body is telling you not to do it, or it's telling you to do it, or it's telling you to go in and full pour, or it's telling you to go in with only $100. It doesn't really matter. It's following a simple system over and over and over and over again. Now, if you don't master that, the market is going to humble you every single time. Now, I'm going to give you the following mindset tricks that help me become profitable and that also helped me in the military. Mindset number one is going to be discipline over emotions. In the Marines, we didn't wake up and we thought to ourselves, do we feel like training? Do we feel like waking up at 4 in the morning when no one wants to? I'm going to give you a quick lesson right here. In the Marines, in boot camp, we were waking up every morning at 4 in the morning. Now, we'll have a 5-minute window from the time that we will wake up all the way to the time that we will have to be outside for formation. And that included going to the bathroom, doing your necessities, taking a shower, and also washing your mouth. Now, you might be thinking 5 minutes is definitely enough, but it's not. 5 minutes for 100 other recruits to do the same thing. No, we were actually moving. That means that as soon as we wake up, we'll have to be running. So the adrenaline pumping and the drill instructors just yelling at you left and right. Do you think that we actually thought about, oh, you know what? Do we feel like training? Do we feel like waking up? Do we feel like going out in the cold, even though it's like 40, 30 degrees outside? Hell no. The point is that we will have to execute and show up, period. Nothing else, nothing more. In trading, it's going to be the same thing. If your rules say not to trade, you do not execute, you do not take any trades. If your stop gets hit, guess what? You're gonna have to get out and not go back in. No revenge trading. Forget about, oh, if I can just get one more trade, I'm gonna be able to make that money back. Fuck no. You gotta understand that feelings are not gonna pay the bills, but discipline will. I know a lot of traders think, oh, you know what? If I had a bigger account, I can perhaps make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. In reality, if you cannot control a $100 account or even a $200 account, what makes you think that you can control a $50,000 account? This goes back to, if you cannot control yourself, you cannot even control your capital. And you don't even deserve to control any type of capital. Mindset number two is going to be accepting losses. Now, one thing as a human being that you got to understand is that losses are not failures. Yes, in real life, this concept might apply because if you actually lose something, you might be thinking, okay, you know what? I failed. In the market, it's quite the opposite. Because even if you get stopped out on the trade and you lost a certain amount of money, you might be thinking, oh, I lost this amount of money. But in reality, if you're following your plan, that's a win. Because in the long term, you're going to be able to make that money back 10 times more. Now, in the military, it's going to be the same thing. Mistakes are not going to be emotionalized, but they're going to be analyzed to see what can we do better. Now, there's going to be the same thing in trading. Any type of loss that you're going to encounter, that's going to be your tuition that you're going to be paying to the market. If the one loss destroys your confidence, you're pretty much trading with ego and not logic. Profitable traders, we do not avoid losses. We're just going to be able to manage it a little bit better. Now, what do I mean by this? Is that you're supposed to have a proper structure, game plan, setup for your trading strategy. For example, one key thing that I give to every single one of my students, I tell them that we're not going to risk more than 0.5% of our total account per trade. In essence, we are in the market for us to manage our losses and protect our capital. And by byproduct, we're going to be able to make money. However, we're not focusing on making money. We're focusing on protecting our capital 24/7. And that's how you're going to become profitable. Mindset number three, process and systems of your money. If you wake up every morning and you're thinking, I need to make money today. I need to pay rent. I need to pay my bills. I need to do this. You are already losing, my friend. Your job is not to make money. Your job is actually to execute your plan to perfection every single time. If you win or if you lost, as long as you played your plan to perfection, doesn't really matter. And as long as you follow your plan, that's a win. A lot of guys think that just because you lose, that's a fucking failure, which in reality, you got to see it from the statistics plan of following a proper process. Now, I'm gonna give you another story that happened to me in the Marine Corps. Now, I was a truck driver and we had to drive a casualty all the way from the desert back into base. This whole drive was supposed to be only 4 hours. However, it took us more than 12 hours to drive there and drive back. Me as a driver, I wasn't thinking about sleep. I wasn't thinking about myself. I was thinking about the end goal, which it was taking the casualty back into the hospital, or he was gonna die. That is to tell you that we do not focus on shiny materials, or we do not focus on any type of medals that we might get by accomplishing any type of mission. We focus on protecting our brothers or sisters so they don't fucking die. It's the same thing on the markets. Focus on execution, and that's how you're gonna become profitable. Now, let me give you another example before we jump into the next segment. And just so I can put a clear picture on how you're gonna become profitable, because I truly care on making you profitable. In the Marines, whenever we're gonna go to war, yes, we get medals because we deployed overseas and all of this. And the more medals that you have in the Marine Corps, yes, it looks a lot better. However, as we are under pressure, as we are engaging with the enemy, we do not focus on, oh, you know what? I need to fight the enemy because I want to get this medal and I want to look cooler. Hell no. We focus on bringing our brothers and sisters right next to us back home with no casualties. And the medal, which is going to be the prize, is going to be a byproduct of us completing the mission. Now, I'm going to give you my quick story so you can have a proper perception of how I got here and how you're going to be able to follow my steps so you can become profitable. And it can help you out in your journey. So I served in the military all the way from 2017 to 2021. And how did I get into trading, or how did I get into investing? Back in 2020, when everything went down, when COVID just happened, I had one of my mentors reach out and he told me, hey, listen, Brian, put a bunch of your money into the S&P 500 and you're going to be able to make a good return on your investment. Now, I did do that. However, I lost like $5,000 because everything was still going down. But I turned those last $10,000 into $100,000 in less than 6 months because everything was going up. Now, I thought I was a genius. I thought that I could easily turn that $10,000 into $1 million in less than 2 months, which it never happened. But this right here taught me a really good lesson. And it was, you got to take risks even when the odds are going to be against you. Now, fast forward to 2022, everything went down still, and I lost $50,000. Now I have $50,000 to my name, and what I did was I started day trading, and my mindset was, if I can just make $100 per day, I can easily quit my job, and I can do whatever the fuck I wanted, which in reality, trust me when I tell you this, day trading is extremely, extremely hard and extremely stressful. And I lost pretty much all of my money. I lost over $150,000 out of my own capital. Yes, trading with a live account, and that is due to the fact that I didn't know what I was doing. I was jumping from strategy to strategy to strategy, thinking that that was the way to trade, when in reality, I had no direction, not a blueprint, not a mentor, nothing whatsoever. So I had to figure out by myself, and that's when I jump in from day trading all the way to swing trading. I switched out my strategy from day trading all the way to swing trading, and that's when everything clicked. Why is swing trading a lot better? It's because you got zero emotions. You're not gonna be spending a lot of your time behind the computer just watching every singular candlestick going up, going down. So in essence, even if a big move happens, you're gonna be able to profit in that singular move. And also, back when I was day trading in 2022, I was trading the stock market like a casino. I was thinking, okay, if I can go in with this amount of shares, with this amount of money, I can easily make this amount of returns. And with this, in reality, that is not how it works. You're supposed to have a proper execution, a proper plan, a proper setup, a proper strategy, and you're supposed to follow it to a T no matter what happens every day. You got to keep yourself disciplined. I go by this quote 24/7 since like back in 2020, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And this is one thing that you can apply into your life today. So if you're disciplined on one thing, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be disciplined in the market. But if you're not disciplined, let's say at the gym, with your diet, doing whatever the fuck you said you were going to do, guess what, motherfucker? You're not going to be disciplined in the market. And I would highly recommend you not to trade if you're not a disciplined individual. So let me ask you something. Are you actually disciplined, or are you just waiting and hoping that the next trade is going to save you? Because hope is not a strategy, and the market truly doesn't care if you want it that bad. It truly doesn't care if you got to pay bills tomorrow. It doesn't care about anything whatsoever. Now, if you're going to take anything from this video, let it be this. And start treating trading as if it was a mission. Only trade when your setup shows up, and nothing else and nothing more. Now, if you were able to find some value in this video, please like it so I know that you like this type of content, and subscribe, because I actually break down a trading strategy that actually works. No hype, no gurus, no Lambos, just straight up execution, discipline, and a mission. Stay disciplined, stay sharp, and I'll see you guys in the next video.